Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Catalina Trailblazer 30 THS travel trailer toy hauler. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things, get the best out of your camping experience. So let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking your rig. On your campsite, you're going to want to leave plenty of room for that awning to come in and out. On your off campsite, you got a little slide, but besides your slide, I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Leave room for this to come in and out. And then your power is going to be right behind your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. And then back up front, just behind the front on your driver's side, is where your water connection is going to be for campsites. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, unhook your hitch. First thing we're going to do is level your unit. Your unit does come with a power tongue jack. Night docking light. Should you arrive at night, simply raise or lower the unit until it's level. Now, for some reason, if you lose power, don't fret. Underneath this rubber stopper right here is a manual override that your hand crank will get this up and down with. Speaking of power, check your batteries every now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose coming down the road. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit, you got these stabilizing jacks with a 3/4 inch hand crank. You can use an impact driver or a drill gun. I just recommend you slow down when you get down to the bottom. I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, hot blacktop in the summer. It's going to better distribute the weight and keep those feet from sinking into the ground. So now, we're only going to run these down until they're taut. Remember, our unit's already level. All we're trying to do is stabilize it. So with our pads down on the ground, run this just until you've got some resistance from your hand crank. That's why I say slow down if you're using an impact driver. You don't want to lift the unit at all. You just want to stabilize it. Get all four of them down. Got our unit level and stable. We can go ahead and hook up our power and water. Big Shore power cord back here. 50 amp service plugs into the side here. Big pistol grip. Where they go in as they go in, and then turn to the right. Once it's on the right, go ahead and put this black washer on. That will hold that there. At the end of that 50 amp service, should you need at the end 50 to 30 dog bone, they call it. And then if you ever need to plug in at home to a 110 or any other 110, 30 to 15 amp reducer, you can throw right on the end of that. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. At campsites, you're going to hook up to this city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in the unit. I always use this when hooking up fluid here. You don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up, hook your hose up. Don't turn your hose on yet. Let's find your hot water heater. And all we're doing at this point, folks, is making sure our drain plug's back in. May have left it out last time you were camping. Throw some plumber's tape on there. It's an 1 1/8" socket. Get that in there nice and tight. Once that's in there snug, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now once that hose has been on for a few minutes, I want you to go inside. You can go ahead and deploy this kitchen slide. I need you to get in there and open up them water taps. Open up all the water taps throughout the unit. Get a nice steady flow of water going through them, get all the air out of the lines. Then you can shut them off and you'll know that your hot water heater is full. You can turn that on from indoors. There's an on-off electric element down here. That is normally taped to off. The only time you ever want to turn this on out here is if you are hooked up to 110. Otherwise, turn it on indoors. If your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, come up here and check to see if these are bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in. They are resets, one on each side here. There's your pressure release valve right there that we'll talk about when leaving the campsite. All right, we got our water hooked up. Let's say we're gonna go camping and we're not gonna use city water. We're gonna go dry camping or boondocking. In that case, we're gonna simply fill up our freshwater tank. Just get a gravity fill of this with a hose. No need for a water pressure regulator. Two ways to tell when it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Don't leave this unattended while you're filling it. Once it is full, remove that hose, put that cap back on. Then whenever you want to utilize that fresh water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already got pressure. All right, we're all set up with power and water. Let me go ahead and walk you around to the rest of the outside of the unit, starting here in the front off campsite. Again, your hot water heater, your fresh water tank, city water inlet, hot and cold shower right here. Your handle will set up here actually at a shower height. Up underneath the unit here, your fresh water drain will be right there, that white one. Underneath your slide will be where we'll dump our black and gray tank. This will have a extra gray tank over there. And your low point drains. This is where you plug your cable in at the campsite. Again, your shore power. Here's where you will fill up your fueling station. Here's where you turn that on and off. And key for your handle for your fueling station is in there. This is a vent. You'll be able to push that out from indoors. I'll show you where you can get some air inside. Your rear deck slash ramp. I'll bring that down and show you how to use all that shortly. Up top, a couple blue lights that you have a switch just inside the door. You also prep for a backup camera. Come around to your campsite. You have your big awning over here. A leash link. This awning light actually has a remote control of this LED. You can change the colors, make it strobe, all kinds of cool stuff. A couple outdoor speakers, another vent that you can push out to get exhaust fumes out from indoors. You're prepped for a TV. You can set a TV out here and plug in 110 and cable right there. We'll talk about these solid steps, opening and closing those. This is your flue for your furnace. A couple things on that. Mainly make sure nothing's blocking it, and two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear, it does get hot. This is your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when dumping our black and gray tanks. Separate entryway that we can bring down. I'll show you just like your front steps here. You want to make sure these doors are all the way open. Otherwise this part could catch on it when it comes out. Right or left. Grab it, bring it down. You do have adjustable feet on both with cotter pin to remove right there to get them up and down. So a separate entryway into your bedroom. So same thing, putting these away. Make sure that door is all the way open. Set this up inside. Turn this right or left. That'll allow you to push it in and then put it straight to lock it. Your storage area. Your propane does come with a cover and is on a regulator up front here. Lefty loosey to open and turn the gas on. Green means you got gas. Up front here is your battery disconnect. This would disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. That about covers everything on the outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. Before going up inside here, I did forget to mention your toy lock. You have a toy lock here with a big long cable here and keys for that lock. Alright, let's go ahead and act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Alright, coming up in the unit, first thing I like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway. Immediately to your right, as we come in, is going to be a control panel. Here's where we'll check our battery. Our fresh, black, and gray tanks. They're testing them right now, so that's why I show some in there. Underneath here is where you turn on your water heater, your water pump if using potable water, interior, exterior lighting. Your awning, start to run that out. Let's show you on your awnings. You're only going to want to run these out until you see your white flap and your bar underneath. Your flap will fall down to 90 degrees. You'll see your bar. That's as far as you want to run it out. If you're not paying attention and continue to hit extend, it will run itself out past this point and start to run itself up backwards, like so. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. While I'm running your awning in, I'm going to show you, you do have LED lighting out here. We're set to flash right now. You can just make it blue. Your control is going to be on this right hand side out here. So here's all your controls to change all the colors on that or to shut it off. You have to shut it off indoors, but you can change all your colors and get your strobe and everything going from out here. Coming back in. Shut off our awning lights from here and run that awning back in. As it comes in, we'll go ahead and mention down here in the bottom is going to be our breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s in there. I'd recommend you have some of those with you when you go camping. To the left here is going to be your sound system. Or you can go through here, change your volumes, change stereo, your modes, Bluetooth, auxiliary, 2 auxiliaries, and your FM. Indoors, mute that, or just outdoors, or both. Shut that off, continue into the unit. Sansui TV over here, remote for that. You have to run a digital channel scan when you get to campsites to run up for your local channels. Not sure what much is going to come on inside this metal building, but there's your TV, how that works. Got a couple of recliners here. And we'll just push back recline. All your tie downs. You have a hand crank open vent here. Push out vents. These are just simply push them out and that'll help air out any exhaust that you have in here. Then over here is your slide control. This is prepped for a thermostat. This is a battery disconnect simply for your fridge that will allow you to defrost your fridge without having to shut everything off. Coming into your kitchen, you got a couple covers for your sink. 110 USB ports here, self-explanatory microwave. Now your cooktop here does have a light and a fan. Glass top here makes an excellent backsplash. Just flip that back, turn on your panel light, turn that to high, hit your spark, and there's your flame. Same thing, shut that back off. Same thing down here on on your oven, this last one here is your oven, set that to light. Hit your spark down here, that will light it, and then set it to the desired temperature. No need for a pilot light anymore. Panel light also is an oven light. Your drawers, water lines, keep an eye on those. Mostly PEX nowadays. Those panels will simply remove with a couple screws. And keep an eye on your plumbing. In the hallway here is going to be your thermostat. Turn your AC on real quick. Hear that running? Shut that off. Turn on heat. Crank your heat up. Get your thermostat running, or your furnace running. And when you shut your furnace off, you'll notice that it takes a few minutes for the furnace fan to cycle through before it actually shuts off, compared to how quickly the AC fan shuts off. Coming all the way down to the floor from your thermostat is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, and you're going to be gone for the day, use a battery disconnect to keep this from running your battery down. Alright, in our bedroom, a couple things mentioned here. You got 110 and USBs on both sides. Individual one-touch lighting here. You are prepped for TV in here. Cable 110 will go here. Another light. So I want to mention your spare tire is underneath this wood piece, underneath the storage here. And you got your big closet in here. You got your stairs, release them from outdoors. Let's head us into the bathroom, which I want to leave this open to show you to make sure when you travel. Snap this closed. Make sure these are stayed closed. 110 with GFCI reset in here. You have a hand crank open or exhaust vent here. And a little plumbing to maintain. Behind that access panel is some PEX plumbing. Just keep an eye on it. You're bouncing the house down the road. Maintain it same you would at your house at home. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and walk through your bunks here. Right now they're down in the seating position. Over here in the wall, we're going to hit up. I'm going to bring these up a little bit before showing you a few things on them. Now, these will roll forward. You want to make sure you pull back on this. This will tell you the same. Make sure they are pulled all the way back. That will allow you to roll this down. In sleeping position, open this up and have this leg down as well as that leg. This one will come down like that. Now we're bringing it up. You can go ahead and close that one as well as these on both sides. Yeah. Again, make sure this is pulled back. Roll this down. Bring it up some more. So right now your top bunk is locked up into that lock position. In order to bring that down, show you right here by the instructions. Got this little metal flap right here. If we want to lower the top bunk, we're going to fold that flap in on all four corners. Go around, fold this flap in. This one already is. Go around, get them all in on each corner, and then when it gets to the top, it's going to release this bunk. Now, as our bunk gets to the top, you'll hear it click. That just released the top bunk, and now because those metal pieces are folded in, that will bring our bunk down. Now you will notice it's going to get to a certain point, and it is going to stop. And then you'll continue by bringing your bunk down into a sleeping position. You can sit underneath this in the seating position with your seats up as well. When you go to sleep, when you use this as a bed, make sure that we go ahead and push these in. That's going to keep our end here from rocking in on us. We're going to bring that back up, lock our top bunk back up, and I'm going to show you one last position that these will go into. So now before I bring them up, I'm going to go ahead and fold all these back out so that when it gets to the top, it will lock up there. Let me get to these back corners here. Again, just lift this up. Use it with two hands. Just fold it back up and lock your doors. Alright, let's go ahead and act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. We do have your G fridge. I forgot to mention here, this is a battery disconnect. That will disconnect the battery power to the GE so that you can defrost it. That's all that's used for. So you don't have to shut off everything in order to defrost your fridge. You can do that just through this. Your slide control, we'll utilize that now as we close the unit up. I start in the back and make sure that my lights in my bedroom are all off. I did shut the ones in the bathroom off. Now I'll come to my main control light, control panel, and shut off my interior lights. That way I can look around and see if there's any individual lighting I left on. Shut that one off, and one touch under here. Then go back to my control panel, turn my interior lights back on. Now I know I can shut off everything from here. And say doors and drawers. I'll make sure your TV's back in secure position. Everything back here is how you want it to be for travel. Everything's strapped down nice and tight. Everything in the bedrooms are closed and nothing is in here. Another drawer to close. Nothing is in here to impede your slide from coming in. So we're going to push in. And we'll run our slide in. Slides in, shut off our interior lights, and exit the unit. Now again, the biggest thing to remember on these steps is to make sure this exterior door is all the way open before lifting it up. Otherwise that can catch in it. Set that inside, turn that to the right or left to get it to lock. Before you leave the dump station, and I say that in case you want to go inside and check your panels while you're dumping, make sure you lock and deadbolt this exterior door, lift and turn this handle. Alright, if we are out boondocking, we're going to come around and dump our freshwater tank and hit the road. Freshwater drain be up front here. Dump that. Otherwise, if you're at a campsite, we're going to unhook our cable, our water, our power, bring up our stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's going to be just in front of your tires here. We're going to start here at the front with our black tank. Hook up your hose, put the other up into the dump, and pull that black handle. And once it sounds like that black handle is no longer draining, you're going to go inside, check your panel, make sure it is empty, leave that black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, come to this black tank flush, put that hose in there and turn that on for a good 5 minutes. Again, I emphasize with that black tank fully open. Let that run for a good 5 minutes, wash all that nastiness out of there. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all that drain that you just put in there has drained out.